Hello everyone, I'm Rebecca from Rebecca's Beautiful ASMR Addiction. We have an unusual treat today. I'm going camping with my husband, and I don't know about you, but the nostalgia of the sounds of zippers and tents and sleeping bags and flashlights and those kinds of things, well, I'm hoping to bring back some memories for you, and if not that, maybe some desire to go camping. So anyway, we're off. Car's packed, and I'll show you a little bit along the way and a bunch of little details. Everything about camping. Okay.
We're headed up the mountain from my house. I live in Susanville, California. Eagle Lake is only a half an hour from where I live. I can come up to this lake anytime I want, except in the deepest winter. The roads do close. Here's our campsite, campground. First things first is to unload the car. Some beautiful, fresh pine wood for a wonderful smelling campfire. It is so fragrant. I'm narrating this, you guys, because there's no way I can talk and do all these things on my video. No way. Clean off the picnic table, which in old days, this would not be cement. It would be, well, no, but sometimes it would be a wooden picnic table for the campsite. I like cement, for sure. The picnic table is the center of camping. There's three main stations. It's the table, the tent, and the campfire. It's a bit breezy today. A bit breezy. So I am just going to set up this while my husband is planning on taking the rest of the stuff out of the car. And of course we need a cooler. And here is the tent. This thing is huge, you guys. The thing is, before I left Tennessee to move to California, I gave a lot of stuff away. And one of those things was our old tent. This is a giant, brand new one. Very excited. This bag is the tent cover. So I do just set this aside. Need to find the instructions here. Okay, here they are, and those are the written. Here's the diagram. Okay, it's attached to the outside of the bag, if you will. Therefore, I'm going to just hand this over to my husband. He is busy preparing the floor of our tent area. This will be our tent floor. There isn't anything here that's real protruding or anything, but typically you need to rake for evenness. Isn't it beautiful here, you guys? I think I got the best campsite. End of August, and the rest of the kids have gone back to school in our town. And for some reason that quiets everything down. And here I'm just collecting a few bits of bracken and twigs to help with the fire. These things are so dried and ready to flame up, which is why we have so many California fires, of course, but our fire will be safely contained. And I'll show you why that is. Set these here a minute. Here, I'm the designated chair setter-upper. Looks like we got some sap on there from around the house. These chairs are really cool. They are rockers. They actually rock because of the shape. I don't know how they did that. I'm gonna get the debris off of here. You have to have a little broom. Everybody knows that if you go camping, you have to have a broom. I mean, some people bring everything. You need a little shovel, broom. Okay, here he's going to go ahead and start assembling the tent. He's got the ground all ready for it. This is a big old tent. It's 12 feet by 9. I think they come even bigger than this. unfold everything. Trying to get the pegs out of this bag one-handed before he gets that all ready. I want to have these out for him. My husband's already huffing and puffing. It's like, man, camping is a lot of work. Alright, you guys, it's up. I just want to zip this closed, test it out. Okay. Having some trouble here. See what's up at the bottom. This time, probably won't do that every time. Here's the floor mat. It's a doorway right before you. With a welcome mat. Yeah, it's good. It's a good to keep your, helps keep your floor clean in the tent. Check this out. All these borders. What I found is that it lets in just this amazing amount of air and fresh air, and there's a breeze that comes right through it. It's so wonderful. One more. I mean, you have a complete view all around, and look at this. Isn't that crazy beautiful? Man. Just pops up into this. Now we have to lay out the sleeping bag. A lot of people, when they go camping, they will bring an air mattress. Younger people tough it out by just sleeping on the ground. And I'm like, no, not for me. I'm too old for that now. So I have brought a fold-up foam mattress from the house. Teton. That's a nice bag. There's my husband, so I'm going to let him use that one. If you didn't know already, I love red, and so there's red in everything. My sheets, my pillows, my sleeping bags, my tablecloth. Of course, a lot of that is already rather traditional. So it fits right in with my style. And gray and red actually are a very beautiful color combination. Even when I'm camping, I'm thinking colors, aesthetic. I needed to get outside here. What do we do next? You can see inside. I love it. I love it. Alright, now see, it's around 11 o'clock here, and I didn't get any breakfast. So my husband's having a bologna sandwich, and I am having just a simple bowl of cereal. And that is because I'm really looking forward to dinner. While we have our meal, we are passing the time with the game of Yahtzee. May the best man win. No such thing with Yahtzee. It's purely luck. There is some strategy as to how you fill in the board, though, and which things you try for. Okay, you guys, this is the cutest. There's a lot of this footage because it's just insanely cute. And I'm not going to talk much over this section. His jaws get completely stuffed. It's so fascinating to know that they do not eat these as they go. They are just filling their jowls. And then they bring it back to their nest. Throw it in there for storage. And then come back and get more. Look at those cheeks. Look at those cheeks. So cute. Can't remember why I was in here. Closing the tent up for some reason. Oh yeah, well, you have to close the door behind you every time to keep out bugs. Oh yes, just a little mid-morning or midday rest. Take off these heavy boots. Morning is over and I just want to relax. I brought this book because it reminds me of my youth, and this is what I read when I was on a camping trip years ago. Thing about Gone with the Wind is very controversial these days. However, it is still a saga that is worth reading because of the story itself and how it so course, left open to the interpretation of the author, but it's romantic. Also, romantic is laying here reading a book with that view to look at. It's insane. Let me tell you, this is so relaxing and refreshing. Sun is not quite straight up. So after I finish resting, I've got my sandals on. We rest some more. He just threw some unsalted peanuts. Unsalted, unroasted, they're just raw. It'd be better if they were in the shell, but it would be more difficult for them to transfer them back and forth. One little peanut would fill up their jaws. Jowls. It was so cute the way that they would tear around in the wood pile. Let's see, this little guy is just a small version of bigger guy. But there are two kinds of chipmunks that are hanging around here today. There's a very tiny breed of chipmunk that has some different colorings on them. The littler ones were more shy. Look at. These guys, they had a lot of nerve. And I imagine, I don't know how long chipmunks live, but they pass on a certain fearlessness onto their little guy, their offspring, probably, so that they always know that there's food to be had from the campers. And so they were actually tearing around underneath our chairs and around our feet. One of them just ran right over my foot. I was just like, that's so charming. It was so funny. We stayed as still as possible. And then at some point in this part of the film, maybe you'll hear it, one of them just ran smack dab into my clear vinyl purse that was sitting beside my chair. Pow, just ran into it. And then at some point, one of them got into the big bag on the table. This part of the video is not so fascinating to people because chipmunks are considered pests in some areas because there's too many. But I have never lived in an area where chipmunks dwell. In Tennessee, we had a ton of squirrels, and I loved them. I fed the squirrels in Tennessee, and I didn't get infested with them because our neighbors had a big old barn that they were letting go to ruin, and so there was endless places for them to live, and they only just came over to our yard to get fed. But they never, ate so much that it became a problem or anything. We didn't have a garden or for trees or anything that would cause a problem. Whereas the deer in our town, now they are on a scale of pesky. They will completely strip your yard. So we have had to fence them out to the best of our ability, and for the most part, they are not desperate enough to try to hop our 6-foot fence. One potato chip. Now we've come to the lake, and it is in walking distance, but we chose to drive around to the marina. Pelicans. Sometimes it's hard to believe that they're here. It seems like they should only be in the ocean. But there they are. I believe this is a seagull. Just a fantastically beautiful day here. There's a lizard. They're so fast. But when I was young, I used to catch them, hold them, along with certain types of safer snakes. Goes. This is right by the dock launch. walking through the woods over here by the marina. They have larger pine cones than at my campsite, but these are all old and gray. There are so many pine needles on the ground. The sound of these crunching under our feet was incredible. Give this a listen. Also some really intense wind here near the shore for some reason, but there was always a nice breeze. Came down off of that, I don't even know, there's no way to explain it. Anyway, we're coming down to the water's edge where that dock is, you can see it. We don't have a boat with us, and I don't believe this marina allows for rentals. But I really want to go out on the dock because it kind of makes you feel like you're on a boat a little bit, but you don't go anywhere. Milkweed. Look at all this shale. The light, whiter rock shows where the water has evaporated from this year. Are so beautiful. The reeds. Just an incredible time. Sights. So peaceful. Very windy though. Because the sun's beating down on us pretty hard. I think it's for mid-August, late August. It's 85 degrees today, I think. This is the sheriff's boat that's moored here. Of Lassen County. Okay, I'm just very safely leaning over the edge of the pier. I'm laying on my belly, peering into the water. Can you see all those fish? Tiny little fish. Certainly there is an endless feast here for the birds. This lake and Antelope Lake have a lot of loons. The particular breed in this area are called grebes. Grebes, Grebes. They are a relative to the loon and sound act the same, just a different type. Now I feel like I'm on a boat. That's my hair, you guys. This is what it looks like on the shore from here. My husband went to the end of that narrower part and I was too chicken. There's another seagull in flight. Okay, we are back at the campground and I have got to use the facilities. The ladies' room. It's getting on towards late afternoon. It's so pretty. Okay, this is the ladies' side. Not bad. Not bad at all. See, this bathroom is just 3-minute walk from my campsite. Still a little further than I want. Won't help too much in an emergency. That's why you need a shovel. Gorgeous, gorgeous trees here. Just amazing. My campsite I picked based on how big the tree trunks were. Right, it is time now to build the evening fire. I think it's about 4:30-ish. I am getting so hungry. My husband emptied out his beer package so I could have some fuel for the fire. I believe he has started on his first one. Okay, so that's in small enough pieces. And then I just build up the rest of the fire. You'll see. It doesn't take much when you've got all this super dry bracken and pine needles and such. Those few little pine needles that are in there with everything just make it all go up fast. Now I was taught to build a fire that you can choose between two styles. One is called the teepee and one is called the log cabin. So it depends on what kind of wood and the shape of the pieces that you have. to determine which style you want. In this case, I just do a half teepee because the cardboard boxes, well, the idea behind an excellent fire is making sure that there is breathable space, oxygen, I mean to say, in between pieces and parts of your fire. And highly flammable things. So, my fire is a success without any fuel except for the wood itself. No throwing gasoline on it or kerosene or any lighter fluid. When I lived in Montana, I had a wood-burning stove, and my brother taught me the ins and outs of what makes good fire, and I was a good pupil. So you're making a little bit more of a teepee. Tell you what, this is just, this is heaven to me. The aroma of burning pine. Okay, this is part of my dinner. I am going to warm up these beans on the fire. That's why I brought my cast iron skillets. Okay, let's get this party started here. First, we need the hot dogs. We are going to roast the hot dogs over the fire, keeping our meals super simple. The cooler is not crammed. Not staying here very long. My husband has not been tent camping ever, as far as I know. This is his first time, and this is something that I used to do all the time. But since I married him, let's see, we've been married 16 years, and this is our first time together. I haven't camped since then. Tennessee there's places to do it, but it's not as pleasant because of the humidity and the bugs. So far, here, the only bugs we've gotten are yellow jackets. And you will hear them occasionally in this video. I learned that that is not the proper way to put hot dogs on a skewer. My husband did it right. But I decided to just leave them that way. Now the thing is that I used to camp a lot. I used to go camping a lot. But I have never once roasted hot dogs over a fire. We always brought a propane stove with us, so fires were just for roasting marshmallows. because it was always so cold first thing in the morning and late at night. In the mountains, it gets very cold at night. It looks like the beans are doing well, doesn't it? Our hot dogs are getting very crunchy, which of course makes them even better, in my opinion. I'm letting my husband to get his cooked a little bit more while I go get things ready at the table. Okay, just in this scene, I am getting last minute things put together. You know, I don't think I've had a traditional hot dog for, oh my gosh, years and years. Can't afford to eat this way. Especially at my age. But I got to have all the condiments. Alright, here we are sitting across the table from each other. Thank you, honey. Okay, I am busy putting batteries into my little lamp. You can't see it in the picture, but that's what I'm working on while he's getting his meal together. Because it is starting to get dark out. My camera tends to pick up as much light as possible and make things look lighter than they are. But it is, we're seeing lots of long shadows by this time. And yellow jackets. We tried to decide what in the world was drawing them besides the meat, which I know that the yellow jackets like meat. And I think they like sugar. They like the beer. But the thing is that it wasn't consistent. So we determined that they are actually drawn to the color red as well. It's a very strange thing. Anyway, at this point, oh my goodness, I had a couple of yellow jackets land in the water, my dishwater as well. Just like, okay, how many things can we pull out here to draw the yellow jackets? it wasn't too bad of an experience, but it kind of makes you want to eat fast and get it all put away. Although, you have this experience of doing things here, it's like live and learn, I mean, bottom line is I could have brought a rinse bucket, but instead what I decided to do was just use a very nominal amount of soap in my water because, well, two reasons. It's that you don't want to wash your skillets with soap, not these kind. But also because of the environment. So when we go to dump this water, we don't want much soap in it. The suds don't really represent how much soap I've used. It's barely any. And that's the thing about camping. Can't be a perfectionist. There's a level of clean that's good enough, and there's a level of clean that's perfect. And when you're camping, you have to exist with that's good enough. But definitely washing dishes is a part of camping. When I was young, we would wash dishes by the camp spigot. And I guess the laws of national parks have changed now, and they discourage you from washing dishes over by the spigot. But that's a shame because it used to be the way that you would meet people. And you'd all be gathered around the faucet to wash your dishes. Now you gotta take the water back to your campground. So I'll dry these and get as much of the soap off as I can. Remember, there's very, very little soap. Alright, what's my husband going to do here? I don't know. But I am here, I'm just enjoying the atmosphere. We have some leftover fire from dinner, and we put a couple more logs on there because I am going to have a s'more. Y'all know what that is. See how long the shadows are? Can't tell, but it is much darker in our campground than it shows. We got some lingering rays while my husband drinks his beer. It's starting to cool down outside now. It's about 7 o'clock or so, 8, somewhere in there. Like I said, my camera picks up so much more light than what's actually out here. But the shadows are long. I'm going to get my boots on because it's getting chilly. Just enjoying the tent and the breeze. So nice. Get my hair brushed too. Just wanna sit around and enjoy the feelings. I do need to get my lips are getting chapped, and this is just something that's so a part of camping for some reason for me. Nothing fancy. And then I discover my little bit of jelly belly left. These are the belly flops. The ones that are stuck together. I'm only going to get 2 of them because I'm going to have just a little bit of s'mores instead. Thing is, I can't have much chocolate at night. Get just enough light left to see my magazine. I love the way that the light filters across the campground through the trees. The thing about camping is it makes you feel like you can just while away the time and you don't feel guilty about it. This is one of my favorite issues of country living. When I first bought the stack of old 1980s country living magazines, I figured I would just go through them and then let them go, but I have kept probably around 10 of them because I always want to have my decorating ideas. They're classic. You can see that orange tent in the distance there. That is our nearest neighbor. There's a campsite in between us that's empty. But still, they had a couple of little pups, dogs. And no problem with that, except for occasionally when they just start barking for no apparent reason, and I did get annoyed, I have to admit. When I was young, when you were camping, was inevitable every time that my folks would meet another family and we would meet the other kids, and there was always just so much to do once you met someone. And in this case, we didn't meet any fellow campers, but we met the camp host and found that we had just a whole lot in common. And it was wonderful to visit with him and his wife. His wife has a Down syndrome child, and I would have liked to talk more about that, but we never did get a chance to. It's a gorgeous table. Absolutely would love to have one of those. Yes, pies. I'm looking forward to having a s'more. Yeah. I brought all the necessary ingredients, and my husband says he doesn't want one, so... And actually, I can't have a whole one at night before I go to bed, you know. As I said, it looks much brighter here than it really is, but see now the sun is just about to go completely down behind the trees, and look how bright it is still. Marshmallows. So we're sitting at our table looking out at the sunset, and I am preparing my marshmallows. I have my husband roast them though. Got my graham crackers. A really beautiful evening here. Trust me that it's just astonishingly grand and beautiful. Since there were clouds in the sky, we thought there might be some color with the sunset, but not. It didn't ever turn red or orange or purple. It's my graham cracker. Now, I brought these mini Hershey's. See, these smaller sizes will fit the cracker. Watch this. Okay, so I got my s'more ready. Now I don't remember what I'm coming in here for. Oh, see, I didn't put my boots on last time. Now I gotta put my boots on. That's so funny that I forgot. Yeah, that's what I'm after this time. See, last time I was just relaxing, taking a break, being alone. This time I had a purpose. And I am going to, in this scene, I am putting all of my windows closed up for the night. We don't want any of that frigid air blowing through our tent at night. Amazing how the scenery from inside the tent is so clear. Amazing, amazing. A view on every side of the tent. When I was young, we went camping in Sequoia National Park, and there were bears. Bears are always a concern when you're camping, so we have everything locked up tight. But before we go to bed, everything is going in the car. Anything that has a fragrance of or odor of food. So, but I remember a bear leaning in against the tent where I slept from the outside. Scared the bejeepers out of me. Oh my God. I rolled off my cot so fast. Didn't hurt me, didn't hurt anybody, but the whole camp was on alert. The whole campsite. It's the weirdest thing because the tent bowed in over me. Big old shape. Just. And what did he do? He must have leaned over to scratch himself or something. Okay, we are playing gin rummy, and this is just a classic thing to do when you're camping. Play cards by firelight, or lamplight, as it were. Now this is a game that takes a bit more skill than Yahtzee. Such a wonderful way to spend the evening, though. Actually just relaxing. Camping trip is work, but it's also so relaxing at the same time. There's a lot of work in preparation, a lot of work in breakdown, a lot of work in making the meals, but all the times in between, dreamy R&R. He's like, what? Alright. It's time to have my s'more. I got it ready quite a while ago, but they weren't ready until now. I believe it's about 8:30 by now. Maybe 9. So wonderful just to sit here. My husband's drinking his beer. He's been nursing a 6-pack throughout the evening. Watching the sky on the horizon and staring at the fire is just a dream come true. The air is just thick with the smell of the wood-burning fire, but also just the aroma of the trees all around. There is magic in the smell of pine, whether it be burning or growing. It is just magical. Alright, let's put this thing together. See the shape of this thing. It's going to fit perfectly. Look at that. Now, I don't even get to have this whole thing because chocolate keeps me up at night. But I'm going to get a nice, good bite of this just so I can say that I had s'mores. Now, if you're young and you're a kid, you probably stay up half the night anyway, but I intend to sleep. All cozy in my sleeping bag in the tent. Are we ready? Looks good. 2 marshmallows, that's too much. Oh dear. See, that turned out to be too much marshmallow. Bite right now. And the consensus for me here is that it is almost too sweet. But on the other hand, I like that. So here I'm having my husband cook up a couple more marshmallows. He doesn't like marshmallows. And I normally don't really like marshmallow candy or anything like that, but roasted marshmallows is a whole different story. When I was young, I would catch them on fire and eat them just like that, completely blackened. Because trying not to let it catch. For me, see, the marshmallows won't keep me awake, just chocolate. So I can have these. Perfect. He cooked them perfectly. favorite time camping is sitting around the campfire. And when we were young, my parents and whoever, we would sing around the campfire, and sometimes someone would have an instrument to play, but mostly not. You just sing your ditties, the ones that you know. It's starting to get late now. It's very, very dark. But we still have the night sounds of the crickets. I am going to take a walk in the dark. And that is because I have to use a restroom one more time. But here I am just walking around in the campground, exploring. There is something very fun about the spookiness of the dark and carrying around either a flashlight or, as some people call them, torches. From other parts of the country, we call them a torch. We call them flashlights. But this is a kerosene lamp. Here is a big stump. A pretty stump. That was a big tree. Wanted to see if I could see that and show you guys. We would also, at night in the tent, we would tell ghost stories. I asked my husband if he knew any to tell me while we're in bed, and he says he doesn't know any, and I don't remember any either. It's so terrible. Here's another stump. Look at this. It had to have been a very, very old tree at one time. But I do enjoy that dark night, sort of spooky feeling. Into the trees. Do I go into the trees? Not that part. Beautiful night tonight. Beautiful night. Not disappointed with the night sounds. I think I should go back to the fire now. Staying out of the woods. Well, I'm in the woods, but I'm staying out of the deep woods. What a night, what a night. So beautiful. It is bedtime, you guys. I'm gonna get my pajamas on. I don't know why at this point I decided to use a flashlight to see by. I must have left the lamp on the table. I have 3 light sources. I've got a lantern and a little lamp light and a flashlight. Hubby is still out the tent doing something else. It's my nightgown. Nice thick nightgown for the cold night. And here I'm going to grab the lamp I was telling you about. I left it out here out front. I was using it sort of like a front door. You know, your porch light. Okay. This is where my husband just came in. Yes, I am actually going to change clothes here, but you won't see anything. I don't mean to be a tease, but trust me, there's nothing to see. Still have my boots and my pants on underneath my nightgown. Save my boots and pants for last, because once I'm down here on the floor, I'm not getting back up again. Everyone must have a pair of boots when they're camping. Got to have something that allows you to walk in almost any terrain. I wore sandals a lot today because I wasn't doing a lot. No hiking. But that's a lot of times what you do when you go on a camping trip. With my pants. So nice to get out of these. Husband's already in bed and snuggled in. It is now time to go to sleep. All of a sudden, what did I hear? listen. My husband thought they were fake. Who's gonna do that? Coyotes. I think they were coyotes. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but that is our picnic table in the middle of the night. There is a very bright moon. The crickets have stopped making their night sound. It is deadly quiet. I am walking around trying to find a place to go pee. I have to go to the bathroom. I hate getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. Okay, so it is morning time, guys. And isn't that a beautiful sky? It's kind of grayish looking in the morning. Can you hear my husband snoring here? It's a very gentle, beautiful morning. I have to go use the ladies' room again. So I'm up and at it before he's even up. I'm going to wear my slippers this time. See, he's still in there. So don't close this all the way, just the top part. Never did worry too much about the breeze. There is, if you saw that hole, that is one of the chipmunks' homes. They're everywhere in our campsite. So I'm headed down to the bathroom. This frog fell off the door. I hope it's still alive. Yes, it's still alive, thank goodness. I don't know how it got onto the top of the door, but it did. And I watched it fall. It was terrible, just terrible. Here I'm just gonna bring back some nostalgia for you about having to go to use the bathroom to freshen up. And I don't know about you, but I love the sound of somebody brushing their teeth. So I'm going to humiliate myself right now with that sound. brushing my hair, trying to get my head in view of the camera, just for the pleasure of the sound of hair brushing. Everything smells like smoke. Kerosene into the little camp stove. It's in one burner camp stove. And my husband wants to use it to warm up his coffee. Don't have the fire going yet, but he's got to have his coffee. In future, we can probably use it or light it while it's assembled, but this was our first time using it because it's new. Alrighty, I need to make the fire here for the morning. I found a lot of pine straw, pine needles this time to make it start even more quickly than it did last time. Now it's just wait and listen to the grebes, the loons. They're starting to come out this morning now. It was so quiet at night, it just astounded me. When I got up to go to the bathroom, it was just like, wow, not a sound to be heard. No animals, no creatures. If the coyotes sounded off more later, I wouldn't know because I was pretty sound asleep. The fire's going pretty good here. Put some more on it. I really hope by now that you're feeling the nostalgia of this whole thing and that it stirs your soul and it makes you want to go camping. If nothing else, light a fire in your fire ring in your backyard. Roast some marshmallows. And that reminds me, I am going to have some s'mores this morning in this scene. Sometimes I forget that I'm not doing a "you are there" voiceover. I fall into acting mode instead of, because in reality, as I do these voiceovers, there's such a feeling of being there again. It's very easy for me to act as if. But here I am warming up my hands because the morning is very chilly. We are going to cook our breakfast over the fire, though. Like I said, when I was young, my folks, if we went camping with them, well, in any case, we would bring a propane cook stove. And my mom would make eggs and bacon for my dad every day that we were gone. She still had to slave away on the camping trips. He wouldn't hear of just having a bowl of cereal. But for nostalgia's sake, and because I think it would be fun, we are going to cook our eggs and bacon over this fire. Yes. Okay, we just have to go and mix up my eggs and get out my breakfast stuff. And it sounds like my husband's doing some of that already. Here we go with another cup of coffee. Smore, we gotta move this over to the side so we can cook cook on the grill. Fire's probably ready enough. There I go, talking in first person again like I'm there. I actually can't remember what we do next besides mix the eggs. And honestly, I just put so much footage of the campfire in here because it's the essence of camping. And it's so relaxing. It's so relaxing. I actually don't feel starving at this point. But I'm pretty hungry. What do you think? Is that fire ready for me? Let's cook it, the food. Alright, what do we need here? We've got some eggs. Brought 6 eggs just in case we wanted 2 different meals, but I may cook all of them. Here's the hot dogs from last night. I should have brought baggies, storage containers. There's bacon. See, the ice has melted a lot and everything's wet. Amazingly, though, this cooler has stayed really cold. I don't know how that got in there. That must have been my husband. And these bottles of juice. I froze them, about 4 of them, and they just make perfect ice for coolers. Makes your own crushed ice last much longer. So here I am just going ahead and cracking open the eggs. I can have 2, you can have 3. Yeah, so I decided to go ahead and make 6 here. That way I could just throw all this mess away. I add milk to the eggs. Poke all the yolks because all I have is this plastic fork to mix these with. Silly girl didn't bring a regular fork. Or did I? Too late now. Trying to remember. Okay, we are going to cook some bacon on the fire as well. So, I was getting a little ahead of myself there, whipping up the eggs. But they'll be ready to go. And first I cook the bacon. I'll just, I cook 4 pieces. Two for each of us. At home, I will cook 4 pieces of bacon, and I'll break them up and make sure he gets 2.5 pieces and I get 1.5. Okay, this is nice and hot now, but it will still take a while for the pan to get really hot. I think I already said that my husband had to put marshmallows in his coffee because he forgot to bring the sweetener. It was the perfect solution, and I think he enjoyed his coffee pretty well. Looks good, doesn't it? The thing about cooking bacon, and I'll put on an open fire, or cooking bacon at home or anywhere, the aroma and the sounds are just incredible. So I am going to allow almost the whole process of cooking here on this video. The thing about cooking bacon with the fragrance and the sounds, they're just so pleasant, the aroma. And if you can use your imagination and smell this bacon cooking, you get to hear it, you get to hear it. But I got to smell it too. It's so good. Eating it, that's another whole matter. about you guys, but the smell of cooking bacon is nostalgic in itself. It just brings back so many memories of my mom and dad and my family life. My mom made bacon every day, every day. Now the thing is that bacon is a luxury. It really is a luxury food for a lot of people these days, and it is quite costly. But my father was an engineer, and he made a decent salary, and he was going to have his bacon every day, even if it meant that he had to budget and chintz in other areas. So we children got bacon every day. Bacon and eggs toast. And to this day, it's my absolute favorite breakfast in the world. Always. Occasionally, I feel like having oatmeal. Occasionally, my mom would make it. She also cooked us what you called a cream of wheat. Cream of wheat. And the way she made it was quite tasty, and I do like it. But I won't eat cream of wheat anymore because I understand that it's not as good for you as oatmeal. Rotating the pieces so that the ones closer to the heat and the fire and the grease get cooked a little more evenly. Obviously, the grill is slanting a bit, and you can see that the grease is landing in the one side of the pan. But it does seem to cook faster on that side as well. I don't think I've actually ever made bacon in a cast iron skillet. Wait, yes I have. I did it once at home as an experiment. One time in my life, years and years ago, I was in my 20s. I got married young, and we were extremely poor. And we needed pots and pans, and the least expensive ones that you could find were the used cast iron. So that's all I used to cook with. And I love having these for the occasional need for them. But I honestly can hardly pick up the pan. It's too heavy for me now. I am just not as strong as I used to be. I can pick it up with one hand, but it can't have anything in it, lest I spill. Okay, here the bacon is almost all done. Depends on how you like it. I like the ends to be as done as the middle. Can't always work out that way, but every once in a while I will chop the bacon up into teeny tiny pieces. pieces before I cook it, and it all cooks a little more evenly that way. It's weird, but I do that sometimes. Okay, let's dump out this grease. That's what I'm doing now. And egg time. Some people would cook their eggs in the grease, but I think that's a lot of unnecessary fat. I mean, if I'm already eating bacon, then it's like insult to injury. It's like I'm already living precariously by having bacon. Although I don't think bacon's like really bad for you or anything. It's just, it's a luxury for sure. Not something that your body should have to process every single day. Unless you're super, super active and have a lot of other healthy food to eat during the day. But altogether, I mean, the feeling and the look and the smell of everything. Just anticipating breakfast in the good old outdoors. So lovely. I volunteered my husband to cook the eggs. He didn't want to at first, but he started to enjoy that. Here, I think he knows that the eggs are almost done, so he's gonna grab a pot holder. Pepper. Some pepper. Sometimes it's so cute the way that my husband, if he gets to be in a video or if he is willing to, he enjoys adding his own flair to it. So it wasn't the mitten that he got, it was the salt and pepper. Now I think he's getting the glove. There it is. All done. Time to eat. Doesn't that all look so good? It's just plain old bacon and scrambled eggs. They're nice and fluffy. The thing about our cast iron skillet is that it stays hot, so you gotta get your eggs out right away. I think he's got about 4 of them, 4.5. I think I have 3. We are ready now. This is when I get to really indulge. And I'm going to make a nice big one and eat the whole thing. And I will be so full. Totally indulging today. Breakfast and s'mores. fits on either side. Look at that. It's perfect. Perfect fit. Now my husband is cooking the marshmallows for me, and I'm anticipating with great delight. Because last night's s'more, I only got one bite, and then I had to give up the rest. But I did sleep good. Now this chocolate will give me energy for the day. We're gonna stay and do some stuff for a little while in the rest of this video, but we don't film it because we wanted to have some time for ourselves. That's such a mess. See, 2 marshmallows was plenty for that whole big thing. And let me tell you, this was so good. Unbelievable. Unbelievably good. I'm trying to give half of this to my husband. Okay, we've had our day by ourselves, and now we are breaking down camp. And it's very important that once you get your bedding rolled up to... Look, there's a bug. Oh my gosh, I hope he didn't sleep with me last night. But you gotta... Before you fold up your tent, you have to sweep it out. Very, very important. Such a big, important memory of mine about camping was. Now, why would I remember that unless my mom always gave me the chore? I bet she did. Okay, zip it all up before we fold it up. Take off the front porch. Welcome mat. Keep your feet clean. Cloth. Beautiful day, you guys. Beautiful, beautiful day here. I'm going to fold these up, get them in the car. But first I must sit down and enjoy the fire just a little bit longer. It's a gorgeous breeze out. It's just totally, totally divine. Backing up the car, you can see just eking out a little bit of more life out of the fire. You know, I was wrong. I recall now that we actually packed everything up and then we went back to the lake. So I'm thinking now, I realize it's still morning and it's chilly. That's why the fire is still going. Now I recall. Breaking down the tent. And that was the important thing about it, was to make sure that the weather was still cool. pool doing all of this because we could work up a sweat. As my husband's still in his jacket and boots. Yeah, that's right. Love this tent. Love it. Just flattens right back up. Everything stays together. Enjoying. Okay. On our way. This was a wonderful time and I so appreciate you guys joining us. Bye-bye.